here on Cemetery Whispering channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like, until I promise you won't fall asleep tonight.
1. Seraphim. Seraphim means flaming, fiery. Of all the ranks of the heavenly seraphim, they are the closest to God. They feel, in all the power of an incomprehensible depth, that God is love, merciful, immeasurable, who humbled himself for the sake of the human race to the cross and death. This love leads the seraphim always in holy awe and terror, makes their whole being shudder. They cannot bear the greatness of this love. With 2 wings they cover their faces, with 2 wings their feet, and with 2 wings they fly, crying out in fear and trembling, Holy, 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 Lord of hosts. When the prophet Isaiah saw the Lord sitting on the throne, surrounded by seraphim, he began to lament, O wicked man I am, with unclean lips. One of the seraphim flew to him. He had a burning coal in his hand, which he took with tongs from the altar, and touched my lips, and said, Behold, it shall take away thy iniquities and cleanse thy sins. Burning with love for God, they light the fire of that love in the hearts of men as well, inspiring them to preach. 2. Cherubim. It was the cherub with the flaming sword that drove Adam and Eve out of paradise, who set out to tear the veil that hid the secrets of divine wisdom. For the cherubim God is the luminous wisdom, which is at least dangerous to doubt, so great is their jealousy. The cherubim ceaselessly delve into the divine mind, sing it in their songs, contemplate the mysteries of the divine, and penetrate into them with awe. In the Old Testament, the cherubim are portrayed penetrating over the Ark of the Covenant. Cherubim with tenderness. With fear they look at the wisdom of God, examining it, learning it, and as if covered with the wings of their secrets, they keep them. They are extremely strict toward those who dare to penetrate into the unknown mysteries of heaven. As if to say, but be afraid to test with your mind that which you must believe. From ceaseless contemplation of the divine wisdom they see and know everything perfectly, and people bring a vision, from the word believe to know. 3. Thrones. Have there ever been times when the sound of thunder or the splendor of lightning, or the height of a mountain, or the grandeur of a worship service made you want to fall on your knees or burst into tears, or simply soar upward? Such holy moments are not without the influence of the thrones. No, certainly not like earthly thrones of gold, silver, or ivory. Heavenly thrones are sensible, living bearers of the majesty and glory of God. They feel, contemplating God as the King of glory, the King of judgment and truth, God the Great. The tough and the fearful thrones are not only filled with this greatness and glory, but also let others feel it, as if they pour it into human hearts, flooding us, ordinary mortals, with waves and greatness and glory, as if they join us to their moods. Yes, if thrones visited us more often, we would have less trouble. They would sprinkle us with a sense of the greatness of God and our own nothingness. We would not be so exalted, not knowing our own selves, almost thinking of ourselves as God. But alas, the glory of God in all its fullness is available only to thrones. 4. Lordship. If to the seraphim God is love, to the cherubim he is wisdom, to the thrones King of glory, to the lords, God is contemplated by God as a provider, they sing about his care of the world. They penetrate into the manifold cares of God, as he clothes the heavens with clouds, prepares the earth with rain, calls the grass and herbs on the mountains for the service of men. They marvel at how God, so great, embraces everyone and everything with his care, preserves and protects every worm, every gnat, the tiniest grain of sand. Contemplating God as the builder of the world, the lordship and people teach us to arrange ourselves, teach us to take care of our souls, to care for them. To people who wish to rid themselves of this kind of weakness, Dionysius suggests praying, Holy Lords, strengthen my weak will in the struggle with sin, let me rule over my passions. And, believe me, such a call to prayer will not remain fruitless. Dionysius writes, Now from the hosts of the Lord help and strength will be sent to you. 5. Forces. For the powers. God is the miracle worker. You, if God performs miracles, are the subject of their constant praise and thanksgiving. Remember, when we witness to someone who is hopelessly ill, there is indescribable delight and tenderness. And the powers can see miracles that our minds cannot imagine. They can penetrate into the very depths of these miracles, their highest purpose is revealed to them. 6. The powers. Like red-hot iron, the authorities are penetrated by the fire of God's omnipotence and become its bearers. The authorities are unbearable for the devil and turn his hordes to flight. Therefore, it is important for demon-possessed people, or those in distress, to pray daily, "Holy authorities, by the power given to you from God, drive away from the servant of God, name, or the servant of God, name, demon, tormenting him, or her." In simplicity of the heart, the authorities will come to the rescue and the demon-possessed will feel lightness in the soul. 7. Beginnings. I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 sides of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. Street, John testifies in Revelations. Lightning often strikes blasphemers, hail hits one field, another does not. Who gives unreasonable elements a reasonable direction? The beginnings. They peoples to the higher good purposes, which indicates and predetermines the Lord Himself. They raise up, as much as they can, those who willingly obey them, to God as their initiative. 8. Archangels. These are the teachers of heaven. They teach people how to arrange their lives in accordance with God's will. Different ways of life for man. There is a way of monasticism, the way of marriage, there are different types of service. What to choose? Here the archangels help the man and the Lord reveals His will about the man. Archangels know what awaits a person on one or another path of life, from one path they divert, and to another they guide a person, teach him to choose the right path. Who is broken in life, hesitates, it is necessary to call in the help of the archangels, archangels of God. Determined by God Himself to teach us, to guide me, teach me which way to choose, I will go in a way pleasing to my God. According to church teaching, there are 7 archangels in all. Archangel Michael. Who is like God? Because of his faithfulness, he was placed by God as chief over all the ranks of the holy angels. Therefore he is depicted in a martial form, with a spear or a flaming sword in his hand, having under his feet a vanquished spirit of evil. White banner, which adorns the top of his spear, means purity and loyalty of angels to the King of Heaven. The cross at the end of the lance indicates that the battle against the kingdom of darkness and the victory over it is done in the name of the cross of Christ, done through patience, humility, and self-sacrifice. The Archangel Gabriel. The fortress of God. Sometimes depicted with a branch of paradise in his hands, which was brought to the Virgin Mary on the day of the Annunciation, and sometimes with a lantern, inside of which a candle burns, and with a mirror from the jasper, as a messenger of God's judgments for the salvation of mankind. Archangel Raphael. God's healing aid. He holds in his left hand a vessel with medicine, and in his right hand a string, i.e., a shorn bird's feather for dabbing wounds. The Archangel Salaphiel. Minister of prayer. A prayer minister who encourages people to pray. He is depicted with his countenance and eyes bowed down, and his hands clasped with the cross on his chest, as one who is supplicatingly praying. The Archangel Uriel. The light or fire of God. As an angel of light, he enlightens the minds of men with the revelation of truth. As an angel of divine fire, he inflames hearts with love for God and destroys in them the impure attachments of the earthly. Archangel Barachiel. Disperse the blessings. Bearing white roses on his garment, as if rewarding, at God's command, people for their prayers and work, and announcing their good fortune in the kingdom of heaven. The Archangel Agudiel. Praise of God. Shown in his right hand holding a golden crown as a reward from God for useful work to holy people, and in his left hand holding a beech as punishment for sinful sloth. 9. Angels. According to Street, John Chrysostom, all air is filled with angels. They are so close to us, that everywhere we are surrounded. From everywhere they look at us and stand before the priest during the fulfillment of the sacrifice. You can recognize the presence of a guardian angel by the inner mood. When your soul is bright, your heart is light, quiet and peaceful, when your mind is occupied with God. When you repent and feel tenderness, then the angel is near. Why cannot appear angel in a visible way? So as not to frighten us, not to confuse us with his appearance, because he knows how cowardly, fearful and timid we are before all the mysterious.